What's up, YouTube? Scott Lett here, owner of Iron City Power Washing. Hope you guys are doing well. It's Sunday and I'm getting ready for a crazy busy week. We have 2 HOA neighborhoods we're going to knock out, along with some residential jobs, and then finishing up an apartment complex we've been slowly working on. They've slowly added work, which kind of stinks because we're ready to get paid, but we had to wait for different sections of the apartment complex to get approved. So we've been waiting literally 4 or 5 months for an extra grand, which is frustrating, but we're thankful for the work, and we're gonna have a busy week. I think we're gonna have another $10,000 week. So I know it's only been 2.5 months of the year, but looks like we're gonna average about 40 grand, maybe 50 grand a month. It does look like we're going to get that $70,000 job for a construction company here local. It's the same company we did the $30,000 job for at the beginning of the year. So we're going to very, very much so protect that relationship, do everything we can to just stay in great terms with that company. For accounts that big, we do offer discounts. Things like that is when we will negotiate. We will talk about discounts because so far, you know, we're going to make 100 grand just off that one company this year. So, but anyways, what I want to talk about today are the 3 things you need to start a business. This is something that I learned in school. You know, a lot of times I feel like my undergrad and master's were a waste of time, but I always forget that that's kind of what led me to this industry. So what is a business? What does that even mean? So if you have a skill set, if you have a market, and the most important is if you have a passion, you have a business. Skill set, a market, and a passion. Okay, so the market and skill set isn't going to really work unless you have a passion to be your own boss, a passion to work outside, a passion to know that running a business is not easy. Okay, so skill set and your market, your target market, doesn't really matter if you're lacking the passion. That's why a lot of people go to college, don't know what they want to do. They get a degree because their parents told them to. They hop into the first job they find and they're miserable. They don't know what they want in life. I've done everything, guys. I've moved furniture. I've climbed power poles. I've sold Cutco knives. I've sold insurance. I've sold Medicare. I mean, I've done a lot of different things, but this is my calling, to be a business owner, to power wash, to clean people's homes and businesses. And it takes a little while to figure out what you really want to do in life. That's normal, right? You know, but then there's people who, you know, their dads are doctors, lawyers, and they just want to walk in what they know and what they've heard their whole life. You know, a lot of this stuff is psychological. My mom cleans homes for a living. All right, so I don't know if that's something that's been psychological with me, where, you know, that's kind of led me to cleaning the exterior of homes and business. So my dad, you know, he's a blue collar brick mason, you know, so I just feel like I belong in the service world, and that's kind of where I've ended up. I am educated. But anyways, back to the 3 points: passion, skill set, and market. Okay, the skill set is something you're going to gain over time. You know, guys who really struggle in this industry are guys who don't really know how to use basic tools. They don't really come from the blue collar background. It's going to be really tough for the guys, you know, to hop out of a corporate job who didn't grow up around tools. You know, my dad, who really showed them the ropes of how to fix things. Luckily, I did. My dad's blue collar. You know, he used to build houses. He's very handy. So I've been blessed with a dad who has showed me how to do these type of things. That's why I build my own rigs, because if something were to go down, I know exactly how to fix it. You rely on other people to build your rigs. I mean, that's nice, but you really don't know the rig. You know, that's why I encourage people to build your own rigs, order the supplies. Plus, you're paying a lot of money for someone to build your rig when you can just do it yourself. unless you are lacking any knowledge of plumbing, electrical work, basic tools. I understand that. The market you're going to learn. Obviously, you've seen that there's a market for, power washing in your area, or, otherwise you wouldn't be interested in stepping into this realm, right? Stepping into this industry. So you've learned there's a market in your area. You've seen it. You've heard about it. So that's something you're going to have to grow on your own through market research. So skill set, market, passion being the most important, okay? How are you going to sharpen your business? There's an analysis called a SWOT analysis. That's your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Again, everyone's is different, but what are your strengths? What are your strengths as a business? What are your strengths individually? What are your weaknesses as a business? What are your weaknesses as an individual? What are all the opportunities you have in your area? What are the things that you see to where you can be most profitable and make the most money? What are your threats? There's a lot more threats out there than you initially think of, okay? So I encourage you guys to sit down, especially you newer guys, and think about these things. Do you truly have a passion to be an entrepreneur? Do you truly have a passion to face all the adversities, as a business owner? Because look, guys, it ain't easy at all. I'm going to post a picture at the end of this and show you what success looks like. It's, a lot of you guys see all the good stuff. There's a lot of things out there you don't hear or see about until you're in it. So yeah, run a SWOT analysis, figure out your strengths, figure out your weaknesses, figure out your opportunities, figure out your threats. I'll share mine. My strengths is I'm a grinder. I come from, like I said, a blue collar background. And I've always been the type to just make things work, figure it out as I go. I wasn't the one who just hopped into this industry and started calling everybody, buying courses, all that. Don't get me started on that stuff. I just figured it out. I went out there, and I'm a hard worker. I come from a background of using my hands, and I figured it out. Okay. So I have the skill set to build things, fix things, know how things operate, have a very engineering type mind. And also, I'm educated, okay? Which doesn't really matter, honestly, but that's kind of what led me to this industry. I have a strong network in my area. I know a lot of people. The area that I serve, I have a lot of connections, okay? And people love supporting Iron City Power Washing here. I have a business partner who is the same way. He worked for a very well-known gym in the area, and he knows a lot of people. So our network is there. Another strength of ours is we got into this industry before it got really popular, before it got saturated. So we got in, we built a good brand, and we have really good equipment. I mean, we've pretty much maxed out on equipment unless we, go get Kubota engines and, humongous power washers and things like that, but we don't need all that. So we have a lot of strengths in our favor. We're able to take on a lot of work because of our 2 rigs, our equipment. We're constantly busy because we got in early. We have a good marketing plan. We have a huge sign up here at my shop. And we stay organized. We have the money now to stay organized, to have a CRM. So there's a lot more strengths I can go on about. I'm just giving you guys an example. What are our weaknesses? Our weaknesses, I feel like, are we're too busy. We're so busy to the point where it's really hard for us to go out and do the face-to-face estimates now. I'm constantly having to get up really early, stay up late at night just to stay organized, and to stay, sorry, we got an ambulance here. So we need to hire someone for that. And that's another problem. We can't find anyone who wants to work, who wants to get paid hourly to work for us. And other things. I mean, I can sit here and think of other weaknesses. Everyone has weaknesses, okay? I think just the lack of time, staying organized and all that kind of stuff, because, you know, I don't want to have to get up early. I don't want to stay up late at night. And we don't have time to do all the work and go do all the estimates. The only time I will show up for an estimate is if it's a huge residential job who wants a deluxe wash, or if it's obviously a commercial job. So I will show up for those. Opportunities. I live in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm in the South. There are countless opportunities here to grow a business in any service industry. Okay. You just got to go out and find it. Okay. I'm confident that if some dude opposite of my situation just showed up in Birmingham, Alabama, and just tried to start a power washing business, and he was a grinder, he knew what it meant to really start a business and get through that adversity. He went out and just knocked on doors, passed out flyers, put out yard signs. He would be successful, just because there's so much opportunity. I could throw a rock right now and hit a power washing guy in the area, but it doesn't bother me. I don't feel threatened because there's just so much work here. So what are the threats? The threats are the uncontrolled variables, I feel like, which are, you know, the economy. I mean, things could tank. The housing market could tank. The disposable income for the exterior of homes, the aesthetics could become, you know, less desirable. I don't think it's going to happen here. People love cleaning their home. They love keeping their greatest asset clean, protected. So I don't think the South is going to be impacted as much, but it could. All right. There's always the threat of the economy, the housing market crashing. I don't really feel threatened by competition. Gas prices, obviously we're all feeling that. And then another thing is, you know, lack of being able to get supplies in quickly. You know, if a machine goes down and I need to buy a new one, I can't wait, you know, 4 to 5 weeks for a new machine to show up. So you're always having to adapt. You're always having to overcome adversity to be a business owner, but constantly run that SWOT analysis. Figure out your strengths, figure out your weaknesses, figure out your opportunities, figure out your threats, and run that analysis every so often, because your business is always going to continue to grow and change. And I guarantee you, if you're hitting some bumps in the road, you need to sit down and figure out, how can I adapt? How can I run this analysis and learn from it and grow my business? Hope this helped you guys. Scott Lett, Iron City Power Washing.